Marie here from Minerva. Today we're taking a look at some gorgeous art gallery fabrics, and as you can see I'm surrounded by lots and lots of gorgeousness. The collection that we're taking a look at, it is called Floralish, and Art Gallery do describe this collection as inspired by days of warm summers that are filled with delectable fruits and simply stunning flora. The collection is a fusion of watercolour textures with really fresh and sweet tones. It is a little bit heavy on the pinks and the oranges, but I quite like that in this collection. It's a really fun, vibrant collection. I really love it. Art Gallery also describe themselves as contemporary and elegant, and they do consider their fabrics absolutely perfect for today's modern lifestyle, which their fabrics bring a really lovely element of sophistication and chicness to your next sewing project, should you do it with one of the beautiful Art Gallery fabrics that I'm about to show you, or maybe one of their other beautiful fabrics. When Art Gallery do design a new collection, they love to keep originality and uniqueness at the very, very top of the list. And the talented design team, they love using enticing colours and really gorgeous, intricate prints to make sure that their fabrics are truly one of a kind and absolutely stand out. The design team also tend to keep up with ongoing trends, and they really do encourage us to use new colours that are outside our comfort zone. And somehow each year when they do design a collection, you will find a lot of the same colour palette or tones kind of cross through some of the key collections. So if you are making up some really gorgeous garments in some of these beautiful Art Gallery fabrics, you could end up with a bit of a, you know, capsule wardrobe or some key pieces that you can intermix from different ones of their collection. I know I have, without even trying, I have to be honest, but that's for another video. Anyway, also when Art Gallery do produce fabrics, they produce it on a really super fine weave and a superior thread count compared to lots of the other quilting manufacturers out there. So you will find that their fabrics are just really, really super smooth and incredibly soft. They don't have the same crispness that some of the other quilting cottons have. These are a little bit softer, but it just makes them absolutely perfect for a wearable wardrobe, and that is why I think Art Gallery fabrics are absolutely brilliant, not only for your summer wardrobe, but also for a sewist to pick up these fabrics and to actually make really beautiful garments from. This gorgeous collection called Flourish comes in two different colourways. So what we have is the first colour palette, I should say, which is called Chilled Breeze. So that's a little bit more pink based, and then what we have is the other one over here, which is called Warm Winds, which is a little bit more orange based with the colourway of the actual designs. So the colourways of this collection, they do have a little bit of a different feel to them, but really importantly it still works as something as a very much mix and match collection. So you can take quite easily one fabric from one colour palette and put it with the other colour palette and still have it look absolutely amazing. We do also have some amazing self-printed designs, which are just over here, and then we have some really gorgeous coordinates in a traditional solid plain fabric. The first half of the video, I will take you through each one of the fabrics, so you will be able to see all these gorgeous fabrics individually, which is really important. And then I will say the bulk of the fabrics that I am showing you today, they are all the lovely premium organic cotton poplins that Art Gallery do, but we do also have three gorgeous cotton jersey knits, which are just behind me here, and also a really lovely rayon. Now, if you've never sewn up an art gallery rayon before, do yourself a favour and treat yourself to one. I did recently, and I have to say it is just gorgeous. I love it. It was a really beautiful fabric to work with. So do treat yourself, because they are very much worth it. They are slightly pricier, I will be honest, compared to some of the other rayons that we do, but I just think the quality just outshines all the other rayons that we do, and they're just so worth it, and they are worth a look if you're after something really special. The second half of the video, as I got completely sidetracked like I normally do, I've got some really great pattern inspiration ideas for you to use up these gorgeous, or to make up these gorgeous art gallery fabrics in. And I've tried to pick patterns where you will have to use maybe 2 or more fabrics, so I will be as well pushing you out of your comfort zone to pick up 2, maybe 3 fabrics to put them together within a pattern. And as we do go through all the fabrics, you will have the pop-ups as we go, so you can pop them then directly into your basket, or you can wait till the end where everything will be tagged below, and then you can pop it all directly into your basket that way if you do prefer. Also, I will mention the videos do tend to be a little bit long because we do have a huge amount to get through, and you can save the video to your Minerva account for you to come back to it later on and finish viewing it. So if you had to go off and be a grown-up and take the kids to school or go to work or do something like that, you can save the video and come back to it later on. However, if you haven't got your Minerva account, you do need to log in and set one up with your name and email address, and then that way you can also save this video so you can come back to it later on, because as I said, they can be a little bit long by the time we get through all the fabrics and all the pattern inspiration. You might not be able to do it in one go. Yeah, so if you haven't got your Minerva account, now is a really good time to log in with your name and email address and set one up before we get underway, because if you go to come back to the video at a later stage, you may not be able to find it as easily as if you just saved it to your account and it was there in your own little space of Minerva and it was good to go. And before we get started, just a really quick mention on today's wardrobe. I have got on my pattern hacked version of Gertie's charmed cinchet dress and her Stanwick skirt. I can never pronounce that, but you know the one that I mean. So I've got on my little pencil skirt here. I'll just show you that so you can see my skirt here. And then, as I said, I've got on my really lovely pattern hacked cinchet top. So I cut my pattern off, I think it was about 20 centimeters below the waistline, and then shirted all up, and I did need about 4 rolls of shirring elastic, I have to be honest. And also what I did was that I popped my sleeve on, which was the 3/4 bellowing sleeve, actually from her night and day dress. But anyway, it's surprising what we can do when we hack things together. Yeah, so that is just a really quick note on what I'm wearing today. My fabric, I will be honest, it was out of my stash that I've had knocking around at home for quite a while. But my lovely aqua that my skirt is in, you can get that here at Minerva, and that is a Robert Kaufman one, which I think is the Canyon denim off the top of my head. But anyway, I have tagged both the patterns and also my denim skirt that I've made my skirt out of. And if you check out my own sewing posts that I do here on Minerva, I will show you how I hacked the cinchet dress into this really nice top that's just a really quite useful out and around day top, I have to be honest. So let's get started and take a look at this gorgeous collection called Floralish. Now, first up, we're going to have a look at the Chilled Breeze collection. So that is slightly more blue, slightly aqua-y, and a bit pink. I will be honest, they're probably the 3 colours that feature actually in this particular colorway. So first up we have this really gorgeous navy print, and this particular one, it is just a really lovely print with the navy, the pink roses, the white. It's called Cascading Blossoms, and I think that really does absolutely sum up this particular fabric. So yeah, this one is just really gorgeous, a really elegant, unfussy traditional floral is what I'm going to describe this. It's got a bit of pink, it's got a bit of orange, so yes, there's a little bit of bright colour, but I think it is rather lovely, and as I say, it's actually really quite classic, I think, that particular one. Then the next fabric that we have is this one here, and it's a really lovely simple spot, this actual fabric. So it's a very crisp white background, this one, and it's got the tiniest dots. They're probably, I don't know, a couple of mils in size, maybe 1-2 mil, and we've got a little bit of pale pink, we've got a little bit of red, we've got some of that really nice minty green in it, a splash of yellow, and I think this is just a really simple and really lovely spot fabric. It's just really lovely, really simple, and not too fussy whatsoever. So I do love this. I think that is a really nice one, really nice fabric. Then the next one that we have is one of my favourites, and it has to be the cherries. I love the cherries. Nothing more says summer to me than cherries. I just remember sitting in front of the telly as a kid, watching Saturday morning cartoons, eating bowls of cherries. Bit of a strange one, I know, but that is one of my childhood memories. And I have to admit, living here in the UK, and the price of cherries every Christmas absolutely astounds me, because I just remember eating them as a kid always through Christmas. But anyway, that's getting a bit sidetracked. So we have this really lovely cherry print on a really gorgeous navy, and the navy tone does feature on quite a few of the fabrics, and it's a really nice crisp clean navy. I love this one for a navy, and it's got a tiny bit of green in it as well. So again, a really lovely nice classical understated print, not too loud, not too bold, so quite lovely. And then the next one we have is one of my absolute favourites, and again, it's that really nice minty background, very similar to the colour of my skirt that I'm wearing today, and this has the really gorgeous cranes on it. So it's a really simple print. It is got a little bit of green in it, a little bit of white, and a mix of grey and the black. And this particular one with the cranes, which is called Wandering Cranes, fairly apparently, it's just a really nice simple design. They're not too big, and I think it would just make up into a really elegant dress. And this is the perfect print for someone who perhaps doesn't do a lot of print, and might find a print a little bit too bold, a little bit too in your face. I think this one here is a really good one, and a really lovely simple print without being too fussy. Then the next one that we have, this one here is called Citrus Lemon. So it is very much bright yellow, like the colour of lemons, I will say. And then you've just got the tiny little white detail, which is kind of reminiscent of the lemon slice, but it is very yellow, very bright, with just that bit of tiny white detail. And I think that is just really elegant, really lovely, a very bold pop of colour. So, you know, not everyone wants to wear a yellow top or a yellow dress, but I do think this is really lovely, and it's a great fabric for an accent to something as well. So I think this is a really lovely one. Then the next one we've got is actually probably my favourite out of the whole collection, which is this one here, and it's called Petunia Garden Trellis. So you've got that lovely petunia flower, with that red and white detailing, with that beautiful green, and again it's on that really lovely minty background. I have to say, I don't know what I'm going to make out of this. I have got this in my favourite box, and I do have fabric that sits there sometimes for quite a while on my Minerva account because I don't know what I want to make up in it, and I'm still undecided. But I think I'm torn. I don't know whether or not to go a top to wear with my skirt, or whether or not I want this in a dress. Because it is just a beautiful print. It's got that pale minty shade, and then it's got a little bit darker teal poppy colour in it. You know, so the teal's got that nice bit of pop to the colour, and then you've got that beautiful red and white in the flowers. Just gorgeous, this one. Then the next floral we have is a little bit bigger than a ditzy print, but a very traditional floral, I'm going to say. So it's the all over print, and it's called Fresh Blooms Field, and it's very much like, again, that tiny little daisy print in a little bit of, you know, pop of green in there, nice pink, a bit of a dark pink, a bit of a pale pink. So I think this is a really gorgeous one, this particular one. Really lovely colourway, really soft design, make up beautifully into something, even something like I'm wearing today. I think that would make up into a really lovely top, where you get that nice bit of detail with it as well. But it's not too overpowering. I do love this. I think it's a gorgeous print. And then the last one of our Chilled Breeze collection is watermelon slices. And again, yeah, I love this. This is just really cute again. I quite see this made up in, again, something like I'm wearing today, and all the little watermelons ruched up together, like I've got the ruching on my top where it just pulls in all the print really tight. So yeah, you've got a nice little watermelon slice. The sizing of that is probably around 1 inch you're looking at. So, and it's got the tiny little black dots, so it represents the seeds on that very crisp white background. So that is the final fabric to our Chilled Breeze collection, and yeah, that part of the fabric range, all very pink, but some really beautiful designs in with that. I quite love that one. Before we move on and have a look at the Warm Winds colour palette of this gorgeous collection, I just want to remind you that these fabrics are organic cotton poplins, and they are 45 inches wide, or the 114 centimetres wide. So our Warm Winds are just here, and they're all a little bit more orange to red, more tomato-y red, orange, and some really lovely green shades are thrown in here as well. So the first one we're going to have a look at is this really nice poppy reflections. So you've got this really lovely poppy design, which is a nice tomato red with some beautiful green stems and leaves. So that's a slightly more vivid green, I would say, on this really nice white clean background. And I think this is just a really lovely fabric as well. You know, quite understated, not too loud, this. And then we have this really nice navy, which is called Seeds of Iris, and we had this in the white in the other collection, and I quite like it as well in the navy. The navy's it's quite a masculine colour, this navy, and I think even though it's got the spots in the green and a little bit of white and a little bit of black, I think it will make up into something really nice. So a really lovely navy version of this particular colourway, which I quite like, with all the tiny little spots in it. Then I'm going to say the next one is actually probably my favourite out of this whole colourway collection. I do love this particular stripe, and it is called Sunset Trail, and I just love the shades of the navy and the reds and the oranges and the pinks, how they all kind of merge into one. and you've got the nice defined white line and the darker. I love this. I think this is a really, really gorgeous stripe, and the fact that it's not a symmetrical stripe as well means you're not going to have to pattern match it, which I think is a great one for it as well. So yeah, I do really, really love this one, and I think the stripe would make up into something absolutely amazing. I've got quite a nice pattern earmarked for that one. Then the next one that we have is our gorgeous oranges. So we've got tiny little oranges with beautiful white flower detail, again on that really nice navy. So it's basically the same navy colour that features across the whole colour palette of this particular collection. So I think that is really nice, where you've got your navy, you've got your orange, you've got the beautiful greens in it, and really nice amount of tiny white flower detail in there. Really, really lovely, lovely fabric, and quite an understated pattern. It's quite bold, but again, that little bit understated with it. Then we had this one as well in the other colourway, which was the yellow, and we've got it now in an orange, but it's quite a soft orange. This particular one is called Citrus Tangerine, so it is that soft, I guess, the softer orange, more of a yellow based orange than an orange. And again, you've got that really lovely detail on it of the orange slices or the lemon slices in that white detail in this gorgeous colourway. And again, you know, it's a really, really lovely weight fabric. This, you can just tell with it, it's beautiful. So yeah, that is another nice one. Then we have probably the most vibrant print out of this part of the collection, and this is called Evergreen Camellia. I had to think about that, make sure I got it in my head. So we've got our beautiful camellia blossoms in the orange, in the peach tones, on this really lovely, more of a light tealy colour background, with some really lovely green leaves and some stem details. So this, I think, is really, really beautiful, quite stunning, and I think this would make up into something very, very dramatic and quite beautiful, I have to be honest. It's not what I would call a traditional floral. It's a little bit more modern, whether it be the colourway or the styling. I think it's probably the colourway because it's a little bit bolder, but still a really, really beautiful floral, that one. Really, really nice. Then what we have is our Blooms Field Luminous. So we had this one in the pink, and now we've got it in the orange. So we've got that, it's a slightly paler tone. So we've got a little bit of pink in it, a bit of orange, and some really, really nice limey green shades of leaves in there. And again, it's just that really nice little tiny pansy type of flower on that really nice white clean background. And I think because the background is so clean, it does really allow the colourway to pop in this. And I have to say, I think I like the orange. I do like the orange better than the pink version of this, but I think this is really, really beautiful. And again, I think that would make up into something really lovely. And then the last one that we have is this one here, which is called Latticework Verdant. So, oh, let me turn it that way. So we've just got that really nice latticework design in a really nice bright green tone, I'm gonna say, a nice limey green. Yeah, again, quite like this one, I have to be honest. I have fond memories of having sports day wearing colours like this, but anyway, yeah, so we've got really nice bright citrusy green on a white background, and again, the crisp white background is carried through in the collection on a lot of the prints. So you will see that when you're looking at these prints, if you want to put a couple of them together, for instance, when you look at maybe these two together here, you can see how very similar the tones are through it. So you've got the same green here as what's in that one, and then when you pop this one with it here, again you will see in the camellia design, you've got that same poppy sort of tomatoey red that features in this particular one, and then you've got your green tones which are very similar from this as well. So you can see how using all multiple prints from the collection will really work together, but we'll talk more about that as well when we have a look at the patterns. So these ones here are the gorgeous Warm Winds collection from our Floralish collection. Now, if you're thinking you want to buy lots of these gorgeous fabrics, but you don't want to have a full metre because you're thinking of maybe a smaller project that you have in mind for them, you can buy a ½ metre. So we do a ½ metre as our minimum cut, and then we do in 10 centimetre increments after that. So you could get 60 centimetres, you could get 70 centimetres, you could get 1.20 m. You kind of get where I'm going with it. So yeah, you can buy them in 10 centimetre increments after your ½ metre cut. So if you've had a look at these two lovely mini collections within the collection of fabric and you think, oh, I'd like that one and I like that one, you can just buy the ½ metre. So that is always another good option for you. Now we're going to take a look at the knits. So they are a 95% cotton, 5% spandex mix, and what we have is 3 really lovely knits, and they're a repeat of the same design from some of the quilting cottons. So we've got this lovely one here, which is our Bloomsfield Fresh. Then we've got our gorgeous Poppy Reflections, and then we've got the really lovely Cherry Picking. So I love each one of these. I think they're really, really nice, really fun knit. So this one here, as I say, we've got a beautiful Bloomsfield Fresh. So this one here is our tiny little pansies with the green background and the pink pansy design. So this one here, really, really nice, quite subtle. This particular print, it is slightly smaller than the cotton version, but still really, really gorgeous. Then the next one that we have is the Cherry Picking, which again I love. I do love this. I think it's a really fun one. So yeah, you've got those tiny little cherries with the green again, and on the really lovely navy background. And I think the cherries, they just pop, and this would just make up into the cutest little top ever, I think. Yeah, really nice, really quite simple design, but really, really effective with the colour. And if you look at it really closely, you will see that there's quite a lot of detail within the cherries. So they've got quite a lot of shading in them, which is something that I have to say Art Gallery do incredibly well. They do put a huge amount of detail into all of their print designs. So you will find them, you know, that you look at it and you think, oh my God, that almost looks like, you know, a real flower. And then the last one we've got of the Lycra knits is the Poppy Reflection. So again, we've got that really lovely white background with the really nice tomatoey red poppies, with the tiny, I don't think it's quite black, the detail in the middle. It's got that little bit of blue to it, I think. So it's quite nice that it's not a black. And again, you've got that really vibrant green with it, with the leaf and the stem detail. So those are your 3 really quite simple designs for the cotton spandex. But I do think incredibly impactful when you have them made up into something. So the last fabric that we have in our Floralish collection is the rayon, which is our Poppy Memories, and this one here, it is 140 centimetres or 55 inches wide. Now I just will say quickly that the recommended temperature for washing a rayon is 40 degrees, and we recommend that you pre-wash it to making it up as the same manner that you would wash it in subsequent washes. And by actually pre-washing your rayon, it removes any of the shrinkage issues that a rayon may have, because a rayon does shrink at a higher rate than a normal cotton fabric. And by actually pre-washing it, you know you're not going to have any problems with it. And I'm one of those people that are incredibly lazy. I never pre-wash a fabric, but I have learnt the hard way, and I do try and wash all my chalices before I make them up. So here we have the gorgeous Poppy Memories in the rayon chalise. So I think this one really does pop. That lovely tomatoey red orange poppy really pops on the navy background, and you've got that really gorgeous green stems of the leaves, and it is incredibly bright and vibrant. And I think this colourway on the navy really does pop and looks absolutely gorgeous. So this one here is the Poppy Memories in rayon, and this is the last print to the actual Floralish collection. What we have now are our gorgeous plains. So these are blenders with attitude, and the first lot we're going to have a look at is the really lovely large scale design in some truly vivid colours. And this one here, it's just a floral design, so it's all tonal red or tonal shades in the same colour. I've got 4 here for you to have a look at that go in with the Floralish collection, but they actually do 46 colours in this particular range. So if you like the look of it but you don't like any of the colours, do have a look, because there are some really stunning shades in this collection. It is again a cotton poplin, so you are looking at that 44 inches wide or 114 centimetres. And if you're seeing the colour that you love as a pre-order, basically what it means is that we've either run out of stock or we're waiting on our stock to arrive. So you don't need to be hesitant on ordering anything as a pre-order, because we want to keep all of our lovely fabrics available on the website for you to see. And then, you know, once we get more stock from the supplier or once it comes in, it will be sent out directly to you. And a pre-order is normally a week to 10 days, so you don't have to wait any longer, and you don't pay any extra if you get, say, your order in 2 parcels or 3 parcels. So if you've ordered bits that are in stock, we send that out straight away. And then maybe if you've ordered 2 different fabrics or 2 different items that are a pre-order, once we get them in, we send them out to you, and you don't pay any additional postage for any of those pre-order items. So let's get on and have a look at these gorgeous blenders. So what we have here is Flame, which is an absolute stunning red. I love this red. Really beautiful and lovely amount of detail in these prints as well. They are a print, but it's like a self-on-self print. So we've got this one here as Flame. Then we have a really gorgeous pink, which is our fuchsia, and I absolutely love this pink. That's very much one of my favourite pink shades. So again, you've got this beautiful design, or self-on-self design in this really lovely, beautiful, bright fuchsia pink colourway. Then the next one that we have is the inky navy, which is called Nocturne, and I love that. I just love the name that they've given this. And actually in this one, because they've used some lighter blue tones, it gives you a better idea of what the actual print looks like. So you can see it a little bit more, and the actual print of the floral design does stand out a lot more. So with this one here, you do see the print a lot more, where with the pink, the orange, or the red I should say, and then the next one, which is the tealy green, you don't see it as much. So that one is the really nice navy, and then this one here is the green in the beautiful Esmeralda, and again I love the colour names that they've given these. So yeah, I think they're really great. And again, you can't see the print as well in this one. It doesn't stand out as much as what the navy does, but again, it will bring a really nice amount of interest to your make if you want a bit of texture in with using your solids instead of using just a solid. This is the thing that you use when you want to use a plain, but you don't actually want to use a plain. The last few fabrics that we're going to have a look at in our Floralish showcase are the pure solids. Now, these are the fabrics when you do just want a plain and you need a plain. I have 8 amazing colours here that match in with the collection of fabrics that I've shown you. But if you're after another colour, they do 120 colours in this particular collection of fabrics. So you shouldn't have any problems of finding the plain colour to your dreams to mix in with any one of the prints that I have shown you, or any one of the prints on Art Gallery, on the website that we do by Art Gallery. And don't forget, we do offer a sample service. So if you want to see one of these plain colours before you actually buy them, to see what your make is, you can just order a sample, and that option is actually on the website next to every one of the fabrics, and you just pop in, order a sample, and then we send you out the sample for a little cost. But it is a great way to check out the plains and to match something. And as I say, there's 120 colours, so you shouldn't have a problem finding the plain of your dreams. So what do we have? We have these really gorgeous 8 plain fabrics, and the first one that I'm going to show you is this one here, which is called Lemonade, and it's a very zesty, limey green yellow. Very bright, might need your sunglasses with it, but I think a really statement colour, very bold, very beautiful, slightly on the fluoro side, I will be honest, but I do love the Lemonade. I think that is absolutely great. And then the next one that we have is this one here, which is called Raspberry Rose. It borders on that fuchsia pink shade, but again, I think a really nice clean colour, lovely colour. They do so many beautiful colours. I love these. So this one here is our Raspberry Rose. Then the next one that we have is our Coral Reef, and this is that sort of soft peachy colour, I guess. Yeah, this really beautiful colour, really simple, just a really lovely soft colour. Yeah, be a great coordinate in with a lot of these fabrics, and they're just perfect matches. So this one here is your Coral Reef. And then we have our Mandarin, which is this one here. And again, I absolutely love that, the Mandarin. Beautiful colour. Nice soft orange tone, this one. Then if you want something a little bit more vibrant, but staying with the orange tones, we have Tiger Lily. And again, a really nice, vibrant colourway. Beautiful fabric. And really great colour, really great colour, the Tiger Lily. So very much, you know, the shade of lilies, those nice orange tiger lilies that you get. I don't think you see them here very often. You used to get them, I used to get them quite a lot in Australia, but I don't see them as often here. And then the next one that we have is the really nice navy, which is actually called Night Sea. So again, we've got that nice navy tone that mixes in with a lot of the others that we've seen today. Beautiful colour, very much a classic navy, not a dark navy, but dark enough for you to recognise it as navy. And I always think navy is a great alternative to black. But yeah, I do love a nice navy, I have to be honest. And then the next one that we have is Flamingo. So it's that peachy pink shade. It featured in the camellia prints and also on the orange tone of the lovely little daisy print as well. So yeah, really nice colour, this particular flamingo pinky orange peachy tone. And then the last one that we have is the sweet pink. So this is very much your baby pink tone, not quite baby pink, but a little bit dusky, a little bit baby pink, and quite a beautiful colourway, this one. So yeah, that is all of the amazing plains that we have as a part of the Floralish collection. So any one of these particular plains will mix in beautifully with the prints that I showed you earlier. Now it's pattern inspiration time, and I've tried to pick patterns that are designed for using multiple fabrics to create the actual garment's finished look. And I've picked things that I really like, or I think look really great together as my fabric combinations, and I wanted to have a little bit of fun with these choices. So if you do find some of them a little bit too overwhelming with my colour mix, because I have mixed pattern and pattern, you might want to go and substitute one of them with a plain. And as you will have seen as well from the solids that are available as a part of the Floralish collection, you've got a great array of plain fabrics that you can mix in with these gorgeous floral designs if you don't want anything that's too much. Now most of the patterns that I've picked out for you are either described as easy or intermediate, so there is nothing challenging about them whatsoever. And the first pattern that I've picked for you is from Gertie, and it is one of her charm patterns. So we're going to go with the Liz dress as our first dress to make up, or as my inspirational pattern choice for these gorgeous fabrics. So the Liz dress, when you have a look at the pattern, you will notice it's got this great bust shelf detail and a really nice full skirt. And you can either do it with a circle skirt or you can do it with a gathered skirt. So both of them work absolutely brilliantly with this. And you will notice with the pattern, I've seen it, so many people have done the bust detail either as your coordinating fabric, or they've left that plain and just done the band underneath. So what I am suggesting that you do is take a look at this particular one here. So we've got our gorgeous trellis style fabric, this one, and you've got your beautiful pinks, your beautiful greens, and your beautiful teal tones with it. But what I think would look really fun and really striking is to actually put this one with it. So you've got this one here as our main dress focus fabric, and then you've got the gorgeous trellis one that would be your contrast. So you could do this over the bust and around the band through the top there, and it will go down into the V, and then you've got your gorgeous belt design with that. So I've actually got 3 fabric combinations for the Liz dress. So this would be my first fabric choice, and I think these two work together absolutely beautifully. Then the next one, I have gone for our ever so traditional floral, our cascading blooms. So that is very much traditional floral. It will look amazing made up in this dress. And then I think you should go with our Bloomfield Luminous, because I think that tiny poppy detail really brings through the gorgeous amount of orange that's in with this one here. So it does bring through that really striking colour tone, and because you're not using a lot of it, I think it does look quite fun and quite loud, and or quite lovely, I should say. And don't forget, you've got so many plains that if you don't like the orange and the blue, we've got the beautiful pink tones with it. You know, you've got a lovely green that'll go with it. You've got a navy if you want a little bit contrast. These are just some of my favourites that I think will look amazing made up in this dress, and this is my second choice. And my third choice for my Liz dress is I have gone for our gorgeous camellia print, and I think that is really lovely, and again it suits the style of the dress. It's got that nice 50s feel, retro vibe to it, but I have gone with the plain, and the plain is, I think it's the tiger lily. I can't remember. Yeah, it is. It's the tiger lily. So you've got that one with it, which I think is just beautiful, and that does just pop really, really beautifully with that. So you've got that just picks out that lovely tone of your poppy here, and it just goes with that, and I just think that would make up. And that just goes to show you as well how striking just a bold colour with a tiny, tiny bit of detail across the chest here, and with the strap, you know, next to that beautiful splash of bold, bold colour. And yes, the Liz dress will be a statement dress, and it will be an occasion dress, and what the hell, just put it on and just wear it and enjoy it, because it'll bring a smile to your face and it will just look absolutely beautiful made up in any one of these fabrics. Now, your Liz dress wouldn't be complete without the Dorothy Bolero, and the lovely thing about the Dorothy Bolero that Gertie has done for us is that it actually has quite a few options. So you can make your bolero reversible, so that means your lining fabric can also be worn as your outer fabric, so it gives you kind of two boleros in one. You can make it with contrasting cuffs, contrasting collars. You could make it completely plain with no fancy detail. It's got like a wing collar. It's got all sorts of stuff that's going on as design options within the Dorothy Bolero from the charm pattern lines. So what I've got for you is two fabrics to make up your Dorothy Bolero in. So should you want to have it as a contrasting cuff and collar option, you have got that, and I've picked out the perfect fabrics that will make up a two-toned, effectively, Dorothy Bolero to go with each one of the fabrics that I've selected for our Liz dress. And when you put them all together, these particular four fabrics will all work together, so it gives you a really good idea of how you can intermix each one of these really gorgeous fabrics. So when I'm showing you the Dorothy Bolero or the fabrics for the Dorothy Bolero, and you're looking at the Dorothy Bolero thinking this girl is completely mad, just remember you can swap out any one of the fabrics and move them around. So with this particular fabric choice, you might like to substitute one of these fabrics in with our really gorgeous bold florals that work with the Dorothy Bolero. So just a really quick reminder of what fabric we are starting with for our Liz dress as our base to match in with our Dorothy Bolero. So what we have here is our first fabric, which is this one here, which is just the absolutely gorgeous trellis design with those lovely red pansies. And remember, our first contrast fabric, or our contrast fabric for the bust shelf design, was this particular one here, was the really lovely Verdi design. So these are our two main fabrics. So what we have now, we're going to link in this really gorgeous Esmeralda green, and you can see the Esmeralda green really pulls from that lovely aqua design, or I should say that dark teal design within the print. So that pulls it in and will look really gorgeous. And then perhaps if you do just want something a little bit plain to mix in with it, you could go with the pure solids in this really lovely lemonade colour. And when you look at all these fabrics together, you can see how beautifully they all work together, and then literally you're just pulling out your favourite colours from the beautiful primary print of your Liz dress to make the perfect matching you know, Dorothy Bolero to go with it. And equally, you could go with any number of the pinks that will work just as beautifully with this particular fabric and pattern design. Now, the second choice of fabric for our Dorothy Bolero, just a reminder, our base fabric is the lovely cascading blossoms in the beautiful blue print. So we've got all that lovely pink detail and that lovely yellow detail. And the coordinating fabric for our Liz dress was the Bloomfield Luminous. So we've pulled out all the lovely pinks and all the lovely oranges with that tiny splash of green. Now, my first choice of contrasting fabric for this particular dress is the Nocturne fabric that we have from the Pure Elements collection. So you can see here we're pulling through that lovely blue detail, and because of our Nocturne in the blue, it's got that little bit of that lighter colour in it. You can see how it pulls that through from the base fabric of your actual Nocturne blue, which would be your first option for your Dorothy Bolero. Or, you know, you may decide to coordinate the Nocturne with the Luminous. You know, there are so many options that you could, and how you can put together this particular design. And then my second fabric choice to go in with this particular one for the Dorothy Bolero is the gorgeous Mandarin from the Pure Solids. And again, you can see how that is pulling through all those lovely orange tones. And again, you've got the oranges and the blues that work really beautifully. And equally, if you would like to work with the Luminous design, the Luminous and the orange would work really beautifully as well. And again, any one of these fabric combinations, you could make up your Liz dress in with your Bolero. So you could have the plain Bolero, you could have the self-print Bolero. You've got any combinations, but I do think these particular four fabrics, whether it be the Liz dress and the Dorothy Bolero that you make from it, these will work really lovely together and make a really super statement outfit. And the last option that I have for your Dorothy Bolero, now this is to go with the ever so gorgeous evergreen camellia print. So with that one, we've pulled through the orange with the lovely solid design with the tiger lily. So you've got the orange coming through with the gorgeous camellia print in that really lovely teal design. So that was our our Liz dress combination. And then what I've thought would look really great with your Dorothy Bolero is the really lovely Seeds of Rose, which is the white print with the tiny little multicolored dots. And these tiny little multicolored dots have got that nice bit of orange and yellow and the teal with it and the aqua that I think just pulls through absolutely beautifully with, again, the lovely dark bright camellia evergreen print. So I think they work really gorgeously together. And then if you wanted something keeping more within a solid, I've gone for the citrus lemon. And again, that citrus lemon, it does pull through some of those lovely yellow tones. And when you are looking at all these four fabrics together, again, you could make up your Liz dress and Dorothy Bolero in any colour combination, and it will look amazing. And also remember, we've got the lovely citrus lemon in that really gorgeous orange shade as well, which will work again with that really lovely orangey and peachy tone in the, you know, main base print. So that gives you four fabrics that work together as a colour combination, whether or not you choose to make it up in the Liz dress and the Dorothy Bolero. You can, you know, whatever you decide to make, you can see how gorgeous all these interlinking fabrics are when they all come together in one actual outfit. Now I have something for you a lot less dramatic than our Liz dress and Dorothy Bolero combination. What I've got for you is the McCall's Lauren pattern, which is the M8178, and this is the only pattern from my Pattern Inspiration Showcase that is listed as challenging. Now, I don't know why it is challenging. To me, it looks a really straightforward dress. There might be quite a few pieces to cut out, but as long as you've got your head in the game when you're cutting it out and putting it together and you mark up all your pieces, to me, this would be a dream to sew because there is no zip to put in. It is an elasticated waisted dress. You can pop a belt with it, and I actually just think it's really fun and it would be really easy to do. I've actually got this on my sewing table to make up with some fabric that's due to arrive in the next few days, so I'm really looking forward to that, and that way hopefully you'll be able to see how easy it is, and I can let you know if it is challenging or not, but I don't think it is challenging. However, what fabric do we have for this gorgeous Lauren dress? So I thought we would just go with our cherry picking cherries, and I just think this dress made up in this would look absolutely fabulous and really, really fun. And in the navy, I can envision this dress as actually a really nice trans-seasonal dress that you can wear throughout the year. You could whack it on with boots in the winter. Really nice brown boots I think would work great. And in summer you could just wear it out with a pair of flats and you're good to go. But also, I should say, with this particular pattern style, because it's got the really nice gored skirt feature, you can actually insert a colour into the gored skirt feature. So you can either make it all in the one fabric, which I think would look really, really cute, or I have actually gone with our gorgeous floral elements in fuchsia, and I think the pink, it really pulls through that really lovely amount of the cherry detail, and also you've got that really lovely self-print flower design within the fuchsia elements collection. So I think those two work really, really beautifully together. So again, you can have it as a one coloured dress or a nice dress with a bit of a statement pink thrown in with the flare. Now I also have another combination of colours and fabrics to put through with this dress. So here we have our gorgeous Bloomsfield Fresh. So we've got this in the beautiful pink pansy detail, and again you could make it all in one go. You could make it as the sleeveless version in this dress, absolutely perfect for summer. And again, if you wanted that splash of colour in with it, to give you that really lovely contrast in the gored skirt detail, which I think is really lovely in this particular dress. We have our lovely pink in the solids from the Pure Solids collection in the raspberry rose, and again I think both of these work really gorgeous together. And to be fair, you could actually swap around any one of the pinks to anything. So again, the raspberry rose will look really gorgeous with your cherries, and also our self-print floral elements will look amazing with it as well. So you've got quite a few fabric combination options to make up this really gorgeous dress called Lauren from McCall's. Now our next pattern is this really lovely kind of vintage, kind of 70s, kind of peasanty inspired McCall's dress, which is the M7537. Now again, this one is for some reason described as challenging. Now to me, again, it doesn't look that scary, it doesn't look super complicated, but the only thing that I can think why it has been described as challenging is because within the contrast pieces of the dress, so the bits around the middle where the band is, the neckline, and also the hem, you've got the option to actually use two colours to achieve those pieces, and the only thing that I can think of is that the pattern pieces probably look very, very similar, and it's very easy to mix them up. But again, if you've got your head in the game, you label up your colours so you know you're using the right bit at the right place. The assembly of this dress, honestly, it doesn't look to me that hard. It's, you know, no more scary than perhaps what, you know, the Liz dress is, and that's also, you know, sort of done as an intermediate level. So yeah, nowhere near as scary and nowhere near as complicated as assembling the Liz bodice, trust me. So what do we have for this particular dress? I'm going to start with our gorgeous lovely oranges on the green. So this would be my first primary fabric for this particular gorgeous McCall's dress, and as you can see here, again, I've got a few different options for you to play with and to mix it all up with. So we've got this particular gorgeous one here, which is going to be our base fabric for this dress, and then I've got two really lovely contrasts. So we've got the beautiful orange that is just pulling through the orange citrus detail, and again, you could do this dress as a 2-colour option or a 3-colour option. It does have that, and I think it's quite nice to play around sometimes with the different colour options within a fabric, and I think this dress would work perfectly within that scale of using either 2 or 3 fabrics if you feel so inclined. I would probably go for the 3 if it was me. So anyway, we have the lovely citrus tangerine, that one, and then the other one I thought looked really lovely with her. If you want it not as bright but you still want a bit of interest, go with the really lovely navy spot, which is the seeds of iris, and I think this looks great because it also pulls through that lovely bit of green from it with the spot and the blue, and you've got that yellow, so it does give you that really lovely gorgeous color combination within these 3 fabrics that will work amazingly in this dress, and you will have something that will look super duper and beautiful. Our next colour combination for the McCall's dress, I have gone with our waterish watermelons. So again, I think this would look really gorgeous made up. It is a really, really lovely, lovely fabric, but I will just remind you that this one is a little bit opaque, so as you can see the shadowing of the other half of the print underneath it. So if you are making up any of the whites, I will say from Art Gallery, as your primary fabric, I do think they can be a little bit on the sheer side, and I guess it depends upon how much fabric you've used within the actual pattern to whether or not you need to line these to line the dress or not line the dress. So you could line the dress, or actually what you could do is just make yourself a really simple A-line cut on the bias slip that you can just pop in under any one of the Art Gallery fabrics if you tend to do quite a lot of white based ones, and then if you do it as a slip, like a half slip, you know, cut in the bias, A-line shape, you'll be able to wear them under any one of the full skirts styles, and you're not going to have a problem, and you're not going to have to spend the money on lining every one of the dresses as well. So that always cuts out a little bit of, you know, production time, and you can make it really quick. So enough said on that. What are my colour choices to go with our mouth-watering waterish melons? We have the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous coral reef, and I think this looks really gorgeous, and it just pulls through that lovely amount of pink and gives it a bit of contrast. And then the other one that we have for it is the lovely flamingo, which again pulls through that gorgeous pink. And I think if you made the dress up, this particular dress up, in actually the 2-toned band in these 2 colours, I think they're different enough that they will stand out. But they will also blend in together really nicely, and I think this gives a really gorgeous combination on how to use these fabrics in a dress where you do use 2 or 3 fabrics. And I think this is another great make, and this dress would just look stunning in it. And my last fabric choice for this lovely vintage 70s inspired McCall's pattern, I have for you Poppy Reflections. And again, it's that white base, so again you might want to consider lining it, but I do think again this fabric would make up really lovely in this dress. And again, you can pull through some really lovely colours to get that really nice contrast band. So if you're someone with a really small waist, definitely consider pulling through the blue, and that will just give your waist a really dramatic effect next to the red, and that works so lovely with the inner detail of these poppies, because I don't think they're a true black. I think they've got that nice bit of blue, and the blue in the Night Sea pure cottons works beautifully with it. And also Nocturne would look great with this, so that gives you a couple of ideas of what you can pop with this really lovely one. And also we've got the red, so we've got the beautiful floral elements in the flame colour that I think again works absolutely amazing next to the reds. So with these you have 3 really beautiful colour combinations for you to put together to create this dress in a really dramatic and statement feel. And also the great thing about this dress is that you can have it you know, wear it quite a lot the year round, because depending upon what colour option you go with, if it was our first one being the navy based one, you could wear that in the winter, and then the 2 white based ones would be your perfect summer combinations. And also you've got the option of having it as long sleeve, short sleeve and sleeveless, so there are quite a lot of combinations that will come together and look really gorgeous in this particular dress. Now, I know a lot of the fabric that we've seen is incredibly colourful, and for some of you it might be a little bit too overwhelming to take on so much floral and so much pattern within a make. So for this particular pattern, I have chosen a really lovely New Look wrap top, and the New Look pattern number is 6560, and this wrap top is really lovely. It's got the short sleeve, it can be sleeveless, it can have a long sleeve, you can have a ruffle on the neck, you can not have the ruffle on the neck, so it's quite versatile. And it's a really lovely simple pattern that maybe you just want to pick something and make a really nice understated simple top in. So I've picked out a couple of fabrics for you, and I've gone with nothing too loud or too colourful for it, because let's face it, this top would look amazing made up in any one of the solids, and it will also look really gorgeous in the Floral Elements collection. So that would give you a plain with a bit of detail, but it's not too overpowering. So yeah, there's a few really lovely ideas here for you to make up this top. And the first one that I'm going to start with is the gorgeous Seeds of Rose. And I think just this tiny little spot in a really lovely white summer crisp top would be really gorgeous. You could make this all in one with the ruffle in the same fabric, or you could make it up with a slightly more interesting ruffle detail, and you could go with this really lovely citrus lemon coloured yellow, and with the gorgeous little lemon detail on it and this beautiful white fabric. I think for someone who's a little bit scared on taking on too much colour and too much pattern, this could be a really nice combination to smooth you into that vibe of moving into really bold, vibrant, colourful fabrics as part of your core wardrobe, I guess. And then the next colour combination that I've gone with, I have picked out the navy from the Floral Elements, and I do love this, the Nocturne, with the gorgeous detail of the shaded blue and that flower. I just think this is really lovely, and this would just make the perfect understated top for this pattern, and it would look great. And you could throw it on with anything. You could wear it to work, you could wear it with jeans, and it would just be a really, really great top. And again, if you wanted something with a little bit of contrast for your ruffle, the night sea goes really beautifully with the nocturne. So you can have the two navies that will work together. So you can have a little bit of the plain one as your ruffle, and then obviously your all over top in the really gorgeous nocturne floral elements fabric. And I think either one of the fabrics that I've chosen for you, whether or not you go with something really simple and plain, or you want to try this top in something a little bit brighter, but maybe not as bright as some of the others that we've got as a part of the Floralish collection. These are two really great ones to get you on your way to be wearing a really colourful, bright, beautiful wardrobe in gorgeous prints. Next up, we're taking a look at a really lovely box pleat skirt pattern from McCall's. So this is M7906, and even though at first look at this particular box pleat skirt, you will notice that the silhouette is quite dramatic in its A-line shape, because I think the fabric that they've actually used when they've made it up to take the photo is probably something like a cotton twill. So that really does hold its shape and give you that really quite dramatic A-line shape to this particular skirt, especially when it comes out with the hem. But by using one of the really lovely art gallery fabrics that I've picked out for you, because these fabrics are so fine, you will get a slightly softer silhouette with this skirt. So even though the actual hem circumference is 2.5 meters, you will find that by using one of these fabrics, you will get that slightly softer fall to the silhouette, so it won't look so sticky outy. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's basically it. So what fabrics do I have for you? Well, I've got our gorgeous Wandering Cranes. So this particular one is a great one because the colour, even though it's bang on trend this season, the actual print for this particular one is not too overpowering. So I don't think it would get too lost in this skirt, even though the cranes are quite small. I think this would just be a really great skirt in your wardrobe that is a really nice splash of aqua as a really nice summer skirt, and it's got a small print on it that gives it a little bit of detail and a little bit of interest. So I think this one would be absolutely perfect. And then my second option, I have gone for something a little bit more dramatic and much louder, and I have gone for our really, really lovely Sunset Trail fabric. And I do love this fabric, and I'm getting really drawn to making up something in this. So yeah, that might happen. But with this particular skirt pattern, what I would be inclined to do would be to actually turn my stripes so they go that way, because I am a firm believer, or I've been brainwashed by my mother, that you wear vertical stripes so you look really slim, as opposed to them going horizontal, or if I got it the wrong way around. Either way, you know, stripes down as opposed to around, and I think that would look really smart, really dramatic, and really, really gorgeous. And I do think, because these prints are such a statement, both of these, I do think you need something quite sedate on your top half. And I really love the fact that they've actually teamed the cover photo with a bodysuit, and I think that is just a really, really perfect fabric combination for this outfit. So, or gives you the perfect combination, you know, for this outfit. So you've got a really fitted, lovely tight silhouette on the top, and then you've got that really nice dramatic skirt. And even though within the collection, the Floralish collection, we don't have anything that I would consider a perfect bodysuit match, even though I do love the Picking Cherries, I think it's a little bit too pink next to the red of this. So I'm a little bit undecided about that. But if you do go on and have a look at some of the amazing knit solids that we do from Art Gallery, you will find that we have a huge amount on offer, again with a huge array of colours. I think maybe there's something like 65. There's quite a lot of the jersey knit solids. So my top pick, if you want to have a look for the knit solids, I would probably go with Tin Cane for this one. Then we have Snow White and also White Linen, and the Tin Cane I think is a slightly grey one, so I think that would look really great. And then if you wanted to go with one of the knits for this one, there is a really nice deep blue one, much like our navy over here, which is Deep Blue Ocean. Then there's one called Vermilion Red, and then there's another one called Coral Reef, which I think is probably very bang on to the fabric that we have done here. So that is just a few ideas of what you could wear with these if you're making them up as a skirt. And then also over here, I do have a few fabrics. So we've got our reds, which will go with this. So we're looking at our Flame and our Coral Reef that are amazing with this. Then you could also mix them in with the navy, and I think that would look great. And then also if you wanted something from the collection to make a top to go with the Wandering Cranes, I love the Seeds of Roses. I think that would look absolutely great with it, and that just gives you a bit of an idea of what works together. And you might like to make up the wrap top that has featured as well in one of these fabrics to go with this skirt, because that top's quite unfussy and quite understated. So you could just have that over the top of your skirt, or you could even tuck it in. I think would look really, really great. And that's just another option of what to do with some of these beautiful fabrics to create a lovely wardrobe for yourself to use these great bold, vibrant, zesty colours. Here we have our really gorgeous knit fabrics from our Floralish collection. So just to remind you which ones they are, we have our gorgeous Cherry Picking, and then we have our beautiful Bloomsfield Fresh. So that is our gorgeous pink pansy fabric. And then the last one that we have is our really lovely poppy design. So we've got these three fabrics in that really lovely 95% cotton, 5% spandex mix. So they are just really, really gorgeous. And what will we make up these gorgeous fabrics in? Well, I'm going to suggest for you, like I mentioned earlier on, a bodysuit. And the pattern that I have picked out is just a really simple McCall's pattern, which is the 7983. And this particular pattern, it comes with the long sleeve option, a short sleeve option. And I just think it's a really, really basic, fundamental bodysuit that's a really nice t-shirt silhouette that would go with the fabrics that I also, or for the McCall's pattern that I also suggested earlier, being that box pleat skirt. And if you wanted something to wear underneath that, I think this would be a really great pattern. And also with this particular pattern, I think you could very well make it sleeveless. So you could just reshape the armholes to make it a sleeveless style, and you could also scoop out the neck like I've done with my cincher top pattern hack. So I think this bodysuit is a really versatile bodysuit, and I think any one of these three fabrics would make up into a really great fitted t-shirt style bodysuit that you could just pop on with your jeans. And if you're a little bit older like me, you might not want to have, you know, your t-shirt pull up out of your jeans, and that's why I do think a bodysuit is a really good option, because you know it's all snug, you know it's all there, and as long as you get your body length bang on, a bodysuit is a really good piece to have in your wardrobe. And to be quite honest, I don't think my bodysuits have ever left my wardrobe since I started wearing them back in the 90s. Does that make me really sad? I think that makes me sad. We've now come to our final fabric and final pattern inspiration choice to use some of these gorgeous fabrics from Art Gallery's Floralish collection. So the last fabric that I have for you is the gorgeous rayon, which is the Poppy Memories in rayon. So we've got that gorgeous poppy popping on this beautiful navy background, and this will just be the most statement dress you have ever made in your life. And the pattern that I've chosen is the Gorgeous Simplicity pattern, which is the S9098, and I think this dress would look absolutely amazing made up into this fabric. It's the perfect silhouette for this actual fabric, and it will have such a soft and draping feel to it. I think you'll absolutely love wearing this dress made up in this fabric, and the red poppies just have the most amazing standout feature of this really simple, elegant dress with the lovely bellowing sleeves in that 3/4 style, and you can also make this dress into a top as well. So that is a great one should you want something not as statementy in that really bold fabric. And because it's got that really lovely waist detail with it, I have chosen two of the fabrics from the collection, the cotton poplins. So my first choice would be the beautiful red flame, which I think looks absolutely gorgeous with it. It really brings in that lovely contrast, bright red with the poppy detail, and then you've also got the really lovely sunset trail. I don't know which one I like the best because I think they both work absolutely beautifully. A little bit personal choice with that, so it is quite a hard one to pick, or you might just want to get yourself a really simple navy belt and not have too much detail going on. And again, the fabric, I think it's the Night Sea in the navy, that would work with it really perfectly as well. So that's a few options on how to, or what to use as the contrast fabric with this gorgeous poppy fabric in the rayon challis. And I hope you have loved my final choice of my patterns for you to make up these gorgeous fabrics in. So that's it. We are done with our art gallery fabrics and our bit of pattern inspiration. I really hope you have enjoyed it and been inspired by some of my amazing fabric combinations, and I really do hope that I haven't overwhelmed you with too much colour choice option, because there does tend to be quite a lot, and I don't tend to hold back. So if you have any questions about today's showcase, do leave a comment and I will get back to you. If you've been inspired by something that you've seen today, whether it be one of the fabrics or one of the inspirational patterns that I've chosen to go with the fabrics, we would love to see it here at Minerva, and please do leave a photo of what you've made so everyone can see it. And if you would like to see more Minerva videos, do just press the follow button, which is at the very top of the video. And don't forget, I have tagged everything that we've spoken about, just in case you didn't get them with the pop-ups through the video and pop them directly into your basket. You've got another opportunity now to go through and have a look at all the fabrics, so you might favourite something as well. If you've only just discovered us here at Minerva, come and join our community of like-minded makers from across the globe and get yourself a Minerva account. What you need to do with that is just log in with your name and email to set it up, and then you can save great things like this video, like fabrics, like patterns, favourite other people's likes, comment on other people's makes. There is so much on our amazing website, and when you do join the Minerva community, all these really amazing features do open up to you. So it's like saving your own bit of all the best stuff that we have here on offer at Minerva in your own personal part of the website, and it's a really great tool to have as that super quick reference guide back to something that you might need or use a lot, or you might just want to favourite some fabrics that when you get around to doing a next make, you've got all your favourite bits there that you really love already you know, in your little corner of Minerva. And the other thing that I tend to do with my account is that I tend to favourite lots of the stuff that I use all the time as well, so it saves me going through the website pages to find it. So I've recently started to make my hubby lots of boxer shorts, and along with favoriting lots of really silly fabrics for him that I make him wear, I save my boxer short elastic, so that just makes it really quick for me to find it. And also when I'm going through my favorites and I think, oh yeah, I need some more elastic, it's there and I don't forget it, and it's really easy. So yeah, that's another reason to join us here at the Minerva community. And when you do, we send a lovely little thank you to your inbox for joining us here at Minerva to be a part of the community. And once you have joined the community, you might want to consider joining the Minerva Craft Club as well, because with that you do get 10% off all your purchases for a year from the date since you join. So that should come with a really big sign that says warning, 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 because it probably will only encourage you to buy more fabric, especially if you are a bit of a fabric hoarder like I am. I do tend to probably buy more than what I can get through and make, but then again, there's probably quite a few sewers that are like that, so I know I'm not the only one. So I'm Maree here at Minerva, and thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me and having a look at this gorgeous collection of fabrics from Art Gallery. I really hope you have loved it. I hope you have also saved a new favourite fabric or maybe a new favourite pattern from my inspirational pattern choices that you could use to make up one of these absolutely stunning fabrics. Again, thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon for another Minerva video. So take care, sew on and stay safe. Bye.